A small storm was forming far out in the Caribbean, but within days that whisper grew into a scream. By the time it reached Jamaica, Hurricane Melissa had turned into something beyond nature's mercy, a Category 5 monster, the strongest the island had ever seen in 174 years of record-keeping. The winds tore through the night at 185 miles per hour. Entire towns vanished underwater. The pressure, 892 millibars, tied the legendary 1935 Labor Day hurricane in Florida, one of the most powerful ever recorded. Scientists compared Melissa's strength to Hurricane Dorian of 2019, but to the people in its path, numbers meant nothing. All they saw was destruction. Jamaica had faced hurricanes before, but not like this, not one that seemed alive. When Melissa roared ashore near Jamaica's southwestern town of New Hope, the wind didn't just bend trees, it ripped them from the ground. Roofs flew like paper. The entire parish of St. Elizabeth disappeared beneath floodwaters. 500,000 residents lost power. Hospitals crumbled. Roads vanished. The government had declared a national emergency before the storm hit. Evacuation orders went out for 28,000 people, but many stayed behind, afraid to leave their homes. By the time the winds reached their peak, 15,000 Jamaicans were in temporary shelters, some praying, some crying, some just listening to the sound of walls falling. Prime Minister Andrew Holness later said the damage stretched across both the northwest and the southwest regions. 4 hospitals were hit. Entire neighborhoods were destroyed. Power lines lay twisted in the streets. Though official numbers were slow to come in, the government feared the worst. Meteorologists called it the storm of the century. Anne-Claire Fontaine, from the World Meteorological Organization, said the surges would rise as high as 4 meters. Catastrophic was the word they used, but for Jamaicans, that word had no shape. The destruction spoke for itself. People compared Melissa to Hurricane Gilbert in 1988, the last great storm to batter Jamaica. Many remembered what Gilbert had done and felt the same helpless fear. Those memories, he said, weren't just fear. They were frustration. Frustration that small nations like Jamaica keep paying the price for a climate crisis they didn't create. When the winds slowed to 145 miles per hour, Melissa began to drift north, heading toward Cuba. But the silence it left behind in Jamaica was deafening. Entire fields were gone, crops destroyed. Melissa had passed over some of the country's richest farmlands, just like last year's Hurricane Beryl.
Oh my God, the whole ocean's on the street. This is Jamaica right now. The water came all the way up to the hotel. Look at this, that's a shark. Oh no, there's another one over there. I can't believe it. The sea's just pouring in. Everything's under. The pool's gone. Please let this...
Food aid became a race against time. Roads were blocked, bridges gone. Relief trucks struggled to reach towns now surrounded by water. Jamaica's government announced an emergency budget of $33 million, with insurance and credit provisions to cover damages slightly greater than Beryl. But no number could capture what had been lost: homes, memories, livelihoods. And Melissa wasn't done. After leaving Jamaica in chaos, Melissa turned her fury toward Cuba. The storm weakened slightly to a Category 2 but remained deadly. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel warned citizens to evacuate immediately. His message was clear: the country's second largest city, Santiago de Cuba, would face catastrophic damage. Over 735,000 Cubans were evacuated. In the south, the skies turned black as Melissa's outer bands tore into coastal towns. Rivers overflowed. Roads turned into torrents. In Petit Guave, Haiti, 25 people died when a river burst its banks and flooded homes.
This is outside. I'm looking outside. My house looking outside. And there are no rivers, anything like that near to me.
Across the Caribbean, alarms rang out. Haiti, the Dominican Republic, the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos, all bracing for what was coming. Meteorologists warned that storm surges could reach 12 feet in parts of eastern Cuba, and rainfall could exceed 20 inches. Flash floods, landslides, and devastation loomed. Melissa wasn't just another storm. It was a warning. It had formed as a weak tropical storm just a week before, and by Saturday, it was already a hurricane. By Monday, it became a Category 5 beast. That kind of rapid intensification doesn't happen by chance. Scientists said it was fueled by ocean temperatures 2 to 3 degrees Celsius, warmer than normal. An ocean turned into a furnace.
Stop the puppy, please. Jesus Christ, apa lip one. For inside out man. Lord God, apa lips to lip. I want to not make that wrong. Jesus Christ. Oh God.
Those extra degrees gave Melissa the energy to double its wind speed in less than 24 hours. Climate researchers called it the fourth storm this year to undergo rapid intensification in the Atlantic. Each one seemed to grow faster, stronger, harder to predict.
Kusin ka fly. Yang saya nak beli tinggi nawan. Le. Jesus Christ, kaya masing kaya blow from our tono. Yes, zinc.
Forecasting couldn't keep up. Government agencies struggled to prepare. The storm changed too quickly, from manageable to monstrous overnight. It was, scientists said, the new face of climate change. Behind every statistic was a story. In St. Elizabeth, families trapped by floodwaters waited for rescue as power went out. One local minister said rescue teams reached a stranded family that included 4 babies. In another town, a hospital lost electricity, its emergency wing damaged beyond use. In Haiti, homes along the coast of Petit Goave were washed away before sunrise. 25 people did make it out. Across the region, millions sat in the dark, their radios silent, waiting for news.
Why?
The International Federation of the Red Cross estimated that 1.5 million people in Jamaica alone were directly affected. The United States National Hurricane Center warned of more rainfall, more surges, more danger. But the most haunting part wasn't what Melissa destroyed. It was how easily it happened, how nature, now supercharged by human activity, could erase lives overnight. By the time Melissa reached Cuba's coast, it had already changed everything in its path. The Bahamas ordered mass evacuations. Haiti and the Dominican Republic declared states of emergency. The storm's slow movement made it worse. It lingered, hammering the same places for hours. Floods deepened, hills collapsed. Even as Melissa's winds dropped, its rain kept falling, drowning entire communities. Meteorologists compared its pressure and wind speed to the deadliest storms ever recorded. But climate scientists saw something even darker, a pattern. Each year, the Caribbean storms were growing faster, fiercer, deadlier. The ocean was turning against the people who live beside it. That's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more clear and calm reports on extreme weather events. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Please note that some footage in this video is for illustrative purposes and may not depict the exact events described. Thank you for watching and stay safe.